Good evening, everyone. If you will all make your way to your seats. At this time, we are going to start with our prayer from Dr. Robert Ball at Oakleaf Baptist Church, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray together. Father, hallowed is your name. We come this evening and we praise you as the creator and sovereign of all life, the sustainer and giver of life. Father, we thank you for enduring grace and mercy in your Son, Jesus Christ. Father, we come tonight asking for your guidance in the meetings and the things that will take place there. Lord, your word says, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask, and you would give liberally and upbraid not. Father, I pray for our teachers and administrators, for those who labor so faithfully to train up our children. Lord, we thank you for their investment in their lives day by day, year by year. Father, we commit the meeting into your hand tonight and ask that you be honored in it. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Let's say our pledge together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I call to order the school board meeting for January 8th, 2026. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board on an agenda item, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card located at the side entry door indicating the specific item number or topic you wish to speak about, and turn it in promptly to one of our officers. If you have items that you would like to present to the school board or superintendent, please hand them to an officer who will distribute them accordingly. Speakers who wish to address specific agenda items will be heard following the recognitions and words portion of this meeting. Speakers wishing to address non-agenda items will be heard following the adoption of the consent agenda. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentation from the audience. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. And before we start, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. If you brought signs or any other things that could obstruct views, just know they have to stay at your feet or in your lap. No waving of any kind in the meeting. If you if you decide to leave, you will exit and have to re-enter back the same way that you came in, also through security. And I ask that everyone remain professional. This is a professional business meeting for the direction of our schools and about our children here in our schools. There are children present, so I ask that this is your warning to remain professional. And if your behavior does not remain professional, one of these fine officers in uniform will be gladly escort you out. So let's not get to that point. Up next, we are going to do recognitions and awards. And up first, we have recognition of the 2025-2026 School-Related Employee of the Year and Teacher of the Year finalist. Mr. Kevin Leary, Supervisor of Personal Services of Human Resources.
Good evening. As we look forward to the new year, it feels especially appropriate to pause and recognize some of the incredible people who support our students every day. Tonight, I'm excited to share a short video highlighting our district's top 5 finalists for Teacher of the Year and School-Related Employee of the Year. This group represents so many of the ways that our students are supported across the district, from reading and math teachers to school counselors, classroom assistants, and school nurses. Their roles may look different, but what they all share is a deep commitment to our students' success and well-being, and I couldn't be more proud to call each of these wonderful people my colleagues. We're looking forward to celebrating them along with all of our school's honorees at our Apple Awards. So please mark your calendars for January 22nd at the Thrasher Horn Center and join us as we honor their hard work and dedication together. With that, I invite you to take a moment to enjoy this short video featuring these outstanding members of our One Clay team. Thank you.
All right, we do not have a showcase tonight, and this will be the last call for comment cards. And I actually want to pause and say, I should have read this earlier. Ms. Hanson was not able to be with us tonight, so I would like to read this into the record. Let the record reflect that Ms. Hanson was not in attendance. Her absence is due to a prior obligation she committed to last February, which conflicted with the scheduled meeting to date. Under the current circumstances involving statements made by Mr. Alvarez, she regrets not being in attendance to hear from constituents that have concerns about recent comments made by several board members. So I wanted to make sure that we honored her wishes and read that into the record. And at this time, we are going to move on to comments for a specific agenda item, which I do not think there are any. Okay. And there are no special actions, so we will move on to the consent agenda. All right. Can I get a motion to approve to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll move approval.
I have a motion from Ms. Gilhausen. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Ms. Clark. Any discussion? All right. At this time, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right. At this time, we are going to move on to public comment from the audience. I'm going to switch some things around first, actually. Ms. Kidwell, if you would like to come up and do your CCEA update first. And if Mr. Lonnie for CESPA is here, you can wait on deck.
You're confusing me with the out of order thing.
Sorry. I'm a little out of order myself, so I apologize.
All right.
Sorry.
Vicki Kidwell, my address is on file. I'm the president of CCEA. As an educator for nearly 3 decades and president of CCEA, I'm standing here with our diverse community speaking out tonight. Racist comments, diminished trust, and the dignity of others, and undermine the credibility of those in leadership, regardless of whether they are presented as opinion or experience. Meaningful accountability requires self-reflection, humility, and deliberate action to repair harm and restore public trust. Clay County is a diverse community. The dedicated educators of Clay County District Schools serve the students and families of our district with respect, dignity, and equity. And our community expects and deserves those in leadership to model this integrity, respect, and accountability. As board, you have important work to do, and I hope you can take the action necessary to move forward. The Clay community is counting on you to strengthen and stabilize our district. It is your responsibility to take immediate action to stem the loss of educators driven away by low salaries. Teacher turnover hurts students and this district. This year, the Q2 turnover data is very concerning. For the period from October 1st to December 31st, the average turnover for the last 2 school years was about 35 educators. This year, for the same period, there are 69 educators leaving Clay. That's a 97% increase over the average. Strengthening the district requires a reaffirmation of our commitment to serve all students and the community with excellence and prioritize the retention of educators through a credible plan for competitive salaries. We look forward to the district's plan. CCA is committed to working with district leadership to improve strength, stability, and the future of our excellent Clay County District schools. We're counting on you.
All right, is Sesfa here for an update? Okay, so at this time, since we're going to move on to public comment from the audience, we have quite a bit that are coming to speak. I would love to hear from everyone, and I want everyone to get their time allotted. So I just want to do some housekeeping, if you don't mind. When we have this large amount that want to come up and speak, what we have you do is I'll call essentially a stack of you. You will line up behind the podium, and once I call your name, your time will start. So I'm going to ask the audience to hold your applause, no bantering, no yelling, no screaming. We are a business meeting. We will be professional. You will say what you need to say, and I hope it's a professional way to express your feelings. There are children in this room. Just want to emphasize all of that. So we do want to make sure everyone is heard tonight. So just make sure that as soon as their name is called, that there is no cheering, there's no clapping, because they will miss their name being called, and we're going to keep it going. So if you will, when I call your name, start lining up behind the person in front of you. And I apologize if I butcher your name. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now. Some of your handwriting looks like my own personal handwriting, and I'm just saying, I apologize ahead of time. Miss Hartwell, Dawn Thompson, Jamil Davis. You're going to go behind the podium. As soon as I call your name, just line up right behind each other. Aisha Williams. I'm going to go with Brandon Frick. Reverend Barry Wright. Robert, Cara Vina, okay. I didn't know what that last letter was. I apologize. Sorry. Dr. Chandra, sorry. All right, don't go yet. It'll be Miss Hartwell, Thompson, Davis, Williams, Frick, Wright. All right, just make sure you're close, because as soon as I call your name, your time starts. All right, Miss Hartwell. And make sure that when you get to the mic, where's Miss Hartwell? Is Miss Hartwell in here? Okay. Make sure you state your name and your address on file.
Good evening, members of the board and members of the community. My name is Dawn Thompson. My address is on file. I serve as the Youth Council Advisor for the Clay County NAACP and am also a Sunday school teacher in the Orange Park community. I stand before you tonight not for personal recognition, but because the children of this county deserve adults who are willing to speak out when harm is done. Recently, a sitting school board member made remarks stating that 80% of the Black people I know are nasty, rude, problematic, always trying to fight, and disrespecting. Those words are not merely offensive, they are dangerous. They are dangerous because they do not exist in a vacuum. They land in a school system that serves real children with real identities, and they shape how power is exercised over those children. As leaders, we must understand this. Children are always watching us. They may not always do what we tell them, but they are exceptional at imitating what we model. They listen to how we speak about others. They observe which dignity we protect and which we dismiss. And they internalize what that means for their own worth. Many parents are not here tonight, and I want to be very clear about why. They are working late shifts, they are feeding families, they are managing homework, bath time, and bedtime. They do not have the time, capacity, or access to attend every school board meeting. I understand that reality, but I do have the time. Tonight, I stand here in their place, representing their concerns, their values, and their children. I also want to speak directly to military families. I understand that you live under a chain of command and that you have superiors, but no superior can tell you how to vote. And voting, especially in school board elections, is your weapon. It is how you protect your children when you cannot be in every room where decisions are made. The facts matter. In Clay County, African-American students graduate at rates that meet or exceed state averages. These students go on to higher education, military service, skilled trades, and leadership roles. That reality directly contradicts the stereotypes voiced. Our children are not statistics to be diminished. They are achievements to be supported. This is why diversity in our school system is not optional. When students see educators, administrators, and leaders who look like them and share cultural understanding and lived experience, it sends a clear message that you belong here, you matter, you can lead. Representation does not lower standards, it raises outcomes. It builds trust. It protects children from bias masquerading as authority. When diversity is absent, children notice it. When it is present, children thrive. We must also acknowledge the broader issues facing this district: trust, accountability, equity, and leadership.
Thank you,
Mr.
Ms. Dawn.
Alvaro, we ask you to please resign.
Ms.
Our children
Ms.
deserve
Dawn,
better.
Ms. Dawn, thank you. We got to be able to get everyone. And before we move on to the next one, Ms. Hartwell, I just want you to know that you can't give your 3 minutes to someone else. So if you want to speak, you can come up here. If not, I just want you to know that. I wanted you to know that couldn't happen. Mr. Davis. So we're going to stop you right on your time.
That's fine. Good evening. My name is Jamil Davis. I am the North Florida Regional Organizer for Black Voters Matter. I'm also a resident here in Northeast Florida. I have a daughter who is a resident here in Clay County, and I am just here tonight speaking on behalf of the people of Clay County, speaking on behalf of the people of Northeast Florida, speaking on behalf of the Black people of Northeast Florida, because we are outraged. And I'm really trying to keep my calm while we are having this conversation, but we are really outraged because the 80% of Black people that we know are tax-paying citizens within this region. The 80% of Black people that we know are citizens of an upstanding value within this county. We are dealing day to day with teacher shortages, not just in this county, but within this state. We are dealing day to day with education being put under a microscope as to what can and cannot be taught every day in this state. And instead, we are having the conversation of whether or not Black people or whatever percentage of Black people have ill-fated intentions whenever they step out of their house. The 80% of Black people that are in this room do not have ill-fated intentions when they stepped out of their house tonight. Their intentions were to make sure that we have quality leadership on our school board. And what we feel like right now is that we do not have quality leadership on our school board because there's a member of the school board who looks down upon a particular percentage of Black people. So what are we asking for tonight? We're not asking, we're actually demanding that school board member Alvaro resign and be replaced. Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
Okay, so I've heard a lot of discussion.
State your name and your address, please.
Aisha Williams. I've heard a lot of discussion tonight about professionalism, and I just want to take a moment to remind us all that professionalism, or being a professional, let's see, it's an adjective of or relating to, engaging in, or suitable for a profession. A professional is someone who is paid to perform specified tasks or activities typically requiring significant education. And so why do I bring this up? I bring this up because the person, at least one example, one shining example on this school board, is someone who has shown an exceptional amount of unprofessionalism. This person is not professional in any way, shape, or form. To call the things that he stated in that letter, the things that he stated about members of my culture and my community were abhorrent. To be able to sit there and think for one moment that you all have the moral high ground with respect to this nation's history, this county's history, Florida's dark nadir and history. You have the unmitigated gall to think that you have the high ground when you have kidnapped people and treated them like they're lower class. I think that it would be really helpful if your community took some time to do some real soul searching and real healing, because the void that lives inside is clear to everyone. We see the emptiness. We see the lack of emotion. We see the lack of soul. We see the lack of God. We see the lack of capacity. It's a shining beam emanating from your spirit. Do with that what you will.
Mr. Frick? Make sure you state your name and your address, too.
Absolutely, Brandon Frick. Reverend Dr. Brandon Frick, 983 Drakewood Drive in Orange Park. What's happening tonight is the perfect encapsulation of what it's like to be a parent of 2 children in Clay County schools. Here's what I mean. My 9-year-old should be up here tonight with his amazing teacher and excellent classmates singing for every single person here. That's what should be happening. But instead of letting them and their school take center stage, we're back here again, focused instead on you, the school board. Over the last 5 years, this board has again and again made itself the center. It has made itself the story of Clay County. Whether it's the repeal of masking protocols that were motivated by politics and junk science, or the way that you've advanced the agenda of bad actors and Moms for Liberty to vigorously remove all the gay penguins and authors of color from our libraries, it is you, not the kids, not the teachers or the administrators, who always seem to take center stage. For 5 years, you have made it clear that it is not your job to support their flourishing, it's their job to support your agenda. It is an absolute perversion of that relationship. Mr. Alvaro, your comments are below, so far below, beneath the dignity of the office to which you have been elected. I am hard pressed to think of a clearer example of racism by an elected official in my lifetime. And I grew up in South Carolina. You will never convince me that a person who believes that 80% of the students that you swore you'd serve and their parents and school staff of color are nasty, rude, problematic, belligerent, and disrespectful, that that person should be allowed to make decisions that directly affect their well-being. Leadership is a privilege and a responsibility that you have shown through your own actions and your attorney's defense of them that you cannot meet. Your lawyer has set you up as the victim, so I will not waste my breath asking you to do the right thing and resign. We may have the right to free speech, but speech is never free of meaning or consequence. It is my sincerest hope that one of those consequences is that you are pressured and removed from your elected position in short order. School board, I know all of you are not trying to build a political brand. And if that is you,
Thank you,
I want
Mr.
you to
Frick.
ask yourself at what point your
Mr. Reverend
silence
Barry Wright.
becomes complicity.
Mr. Frick, sorry. Mr. Reverend Barry Wright.
Wow.
Your name and address, please.
Reverend Barry Wright is on the record. Listen, I want to thank all of you, the superintendent, for how you've worked with we the people in Clay County for a more perfect union of harmony amidst differences. Mr. Vero, I've read your story. What a wonderful story. I live in your district. My wife's an educator. I'm the 20% that's uniting with the 80%. And I was in a part of the 80% that some people thought were rude. And I have a son as a physician and the one that has his PhD. I was with you in giving you a fair chance, what I call just, until you got an attorney. And I'm not going to say the board. You're causing the board, your colleagues, your friends, to have to defend something that even with their political differences, they're not with you on this one. They got to explain this to their children. I can tell you in the district in Oakleaf, we're not comfortable. We can't make you get out, but you're not going to be able to build into the future in the next election. I want to extend to you an opportunity to have an eye-thou relationship that means that we engage each other for who we are, not our political ideologies, rather than it. Now, I'm with everybody else. You have lost the trust of the more perfect union in Clay County. Your attorney just didn't attack blacks. He attacked the people, your school board members and leaders in the state, by saying it's cancel culture, fake news, and that's my concern. I was going to reach out to you anyway, but I think I need to say, please spare the community. If you're Christian, this community said you have offended us in a way that we can't defend you, but we can still love you. So I want to leave my personal invitation for you to give me a call and let's talk as some of the leaders. I can't support you, but I can love you and talk about how we make a more perfect union, a better Clay County. Thank you.
Mr. Robert.
I'm going to read a couple of quotes.
Can you state your name
And
and your
these,
address?
I'm sorry?
And name and your address.
What?
Your name and your address.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you start his
I'm,
time over, please? Sorry.
You know, I'm past my expiration date. So
It's okay. Just your
my-
name and your address.
My hearing's a little bit dim. Robert Carabiner, also known as Robert Carey, and 3260 Mill Pond Court in Orange Park. That's Oakleaf. Okay. I don't want anybody come running to my house or anything, throwing bricks through it. I have a couple of quotes I'm going to read, and they're from African Americans. And I'm not going to tell you who they are until after I read the quote. Now, here's one of them. There is nothing more painful to me at this stage in my life, and I'm not talking about myself now, than to walk down the street and hear footsteps, then turn around and see somebody white and feel relieved. That sounds like a racist comment to me. How many agree with me that's a racist comment? What, a few people? Come on, more hands up. How about the school board?
Sir, you have to direct the
Hands
board.
up, hands up, let's go. Okay, the person who made that comment was the Reverend Jesse Jackson. And you know who he is, civil rights leader. Another comment, this is from a professor at Rutgers University. She spoke at a panel called The Root, saying that the white people are, quote, committed to being villains, end quote, saying, quote, we got to take these motherflockers out, end quote. How many consider that a racist comment?
Mr. Robert, you got to direct Mr.
Hands
Robert.
up.
Mr. Robert, you
Hands
have to
up.
direct the board. You can't.
Yeah, hands up if you think it's a racist comment. Is that a racist comment or not? You have nothing to say about it. So what I'm going to conclude is this. We shouldn't have double standards, okay? If you want to condemn this Mr. Alvaro for his comments, then have the decency to raise your hand and call an actual racist comment a racist comment. And don't dodge the issue. So I'm going to add one more thing. I think what we need in the community.
Mr. Robert, thank you. You
is
cannot
to have
direct
a
the
forum.
audience.
I still got 43 seconds.
But
Don't
you need to
interrupt me.
direct the board.
Okay, I'm directing it to you. Let's have a forum in the future where we can discuss race among ourselves and air out any grievances people may have. I think that's the right way to proceed in the future. And I said it in less than 3 minutes. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you for your time. and
All
your
right,
patience.
up next is Dr. Chanda. I'm gonna, don't go yet. I'm gonna get the next couple up. LaShonda Holloway, Cindy Frick, Dawn, Mahaban Dawn. I am so sorry, everyone. That is literally what it says on here. Teresa Arlano, Relano, Aaron Frick, Will Williams, Justine Calabroth, do a couple more, I apologize. Reverend Gundy, and then Dr. Sharon Flowers. All right, please remember to state your name and your address so I don't have to interrupt your time. Go right ahead.
Okay, hello. I'm Dr. Shonda Nicole Hosley. My address is on file. I am the mother of Savannah and Aaron, a dual enrollment AP scholar, university-bound 12th grader at Fleming, and a pre-ACE straight A 7th grader at Green Cove Springs, respectively. We have lived in Clay County since 2010, in an area that many view as a wonderful place to raise children. On November 23rd, my 7th grader was walking our dog near the amenity center in FIP, and our dog barked at teens driving a golf cart. It was 4 male teens with no adult present. One of the boys mocked my dog, barking back, and as they drove opposite Aaron, they said, F-U, N-word, hard ER. Aaron was upset and cried for quite some time. I mentioned in our community Facebook group about this incident. Many of my neighbors were upset, and someone tagged Sheriff Cook. They encouraged us to make a non-emergency report. We did. Nevertheless, nothing became of it. Someone knows who those boys are, yet they have not made them take accountability. This brings me to Mr. Alvaro. He stated in his video that he agrees with Nick Fuentes, a well-known white supremacist, that everyone has racism in them. He also stated in his video that he is prejudiced against his own people, Cubans. I am perplexed as to how someone with these views was elected to serve our children, especially in the Oakleaf area where 5 of the 8 schools that he represents are majority Black. I wonder if he believes my 7th grade Black daughter deserved to be called the N-word because of his personal perception that over 80% of Blacks are rude. Obviously, these perceptions continue to be perpetuated in the homes. That is clear by my daughter experiencing the hateful event by her peers. And although I did what I could as a citizen to seek accountability, unfortunately, I was unable to. In the case with Mr. Alvaro, I am expressing my thoughts. During a time where racial tensions are elevated, we need elected officials, regardless of political affiliation, who will call out right from wrong and not have racist beliefs. As a mother, a community and child advocate, and a proud African-American woman, I expect our leaders to promote equity, denounce racism, and foster an environment where all our children are valued and protected. Instead, we are witnessing a lack of accountability and climate of fear. Some of my Clay County friends who are employees are personally afraid to speak out due to potential retribution. I call Mr. Alvaro to resign from a position that demands integrity and empathy
you.
and commitment
Ms.
to our
Holloway.
students.
Good evening, board. My name is LaShonda L.J. Holloway, and my address is on file. I stand before you today as an educator, a community advocate, and an African-American woman who is not nasty, not rude, but who is standing before you with fortitude, grounded in truth, and fortified by justice. And tonight, with unwavering conviction, I demand the resignation of Robert Alvaro, who had the audacity to swear under oath that he would represent the people of District 2 on this school board. Let me be clear. The racist comments that were made are not just offensive words, they are an assault on the dignity of our children, our teachers, our staff, and the very people I am seeking to represent here in Clay County. Nearly 80% of the students, educators, and families who make up this district were not only disrespected and dismissed, but it just pains me to know that someone who sought their vote and to seek to represent them and who they thought would not only stand for them as people, who was entrusted with the power over their futures, a school board member is not just a talking head. This role exists to govern a public school district by setting vision, policy, and goals to ensure accountability for student success, to manage budgets responsibly, to hire and evaluate the superintendent, and most importantly, to serve as the crucial link between the community's values and the district's operations. When someone uses racist rhetoric, they shatter that link and they poison the vision. They betray the trust, and as an educator, I know this because children learn best when they are respected, valued, and protected. Leadership that demeans cannot educate. Governance rooted in bias cannot uplift. Clay County deserves better. Our students deserve better. Our educators deserve better. And this is not about politics. It is about character. It is about accountability and the moral obligation to lead. And today, I stand firm, not in anger, but in justice, demanding that Robert Avero resigns and step aside. Thank you.
Cindy Frick. And you guys can come closer so that you're not having so much time.
Hi, my name is Cindy Frick. My address is on file. Public speaking is my worst fear. But Mr. Avero, you're worth this. I'm obviously a white woman, and this.
Can you pull your microphone down?
I said, public speaking is my worst fear, but you're worth it, okay? I'm a Clay County graduate. I graduated from Orange Park in 1985. My kids graduated from Fleming Island. My grandchildren will graduate from Clay County schools. You don't need to be around them. You're the worst thing in this political climate. You represent the worst that our children see. Your attitude is what they don't need. You need to resign, and you need to take your attitude, that attitude, out. And anybody that has that attitude needs to go with you. They need to see this and take it and understand that Clay County, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, church people, atheists, whatever, we don't want you. We want you gone. We need you gone. Our community needs you gone because we don't want your type here. I know you have children. I know you have children that you're raising. Do you really want them to see this? Do you really want them to grow up like this? Do you really want them to have this in their heart? I don't want my grandchildren, my one that's due in a couple weeks, to have this in his heart, and my little 6-year-old granddaughter to have that in her heart. No, that's not what we want. We want love. We want peace. We want togetherness. We don't want this mess. We don't need this mess. We don't need people shooting each other in the face. We need peace. We need love. We need you gone. Take it and leave.
Thank you. And just a reminder of the commentary, please keep it down. Dawn. Sorry. I don't want to butcher it again. I'm sorry.
That's okay. My name is Mwapondon. My address is on file. Excuse me if I'm a little nervous. Last time I was here, I was on the other side singing when I was a student here. I'm a graduate of Oak Leaf High School, meaning that I'm in your district. I'm also an ACE diploma recipient, and within the ACE program, we take a class called ACE Psych, and you learn about something called confirmation bias. And one of the biggest examples our teacher told to us is when it comes to teachers and how they talk about students. When a teacher talks about and has a premeditated idea that a student will have bad behavior or bad grades, a student has bad behavior and they have bad grades. And we learn also about the social implications of confirmation bias and how disproportionately Black students are told that we're gonna have bad behavior and that we're gonna have bad grades. Excuse me? Thank you. So, I say that because making those comments so publicly will always, always, always have an effect on the actual students that are in the schools. When I was at Oak Leaf, an administrator told me about, well, we had an influx of teachers leaving. An administrator verbally confirmed to me that teachers were choosing not to come to Oak Leaf High School because of the racial demographics of the school, despite being the only other A high school in Clay County. So we weren't having behavioral issues, we weren't having grade issues, our academic team was on top, our chorus was on top, but teachers did not want to come to our school simply because students were Black, and it's because they had the same mentality that you have. So when you at the top have that mentality, it will trickle down to your administrators, it will trickle down to your teachers, it will trickle down to your students. They will begin behaving in the way in which you have described them. So it is not just the risk of people not coming to our county or wanting to leave our county, it is the students. Black students like me will internalize those comments and believe that they can only be nasty and they can only be rude and they can only be these things. So I'm up here, like obviously you've heard a million times what people are asking to do, but I'm not just asking for a resignation. I'm asking for a deep, long look into the history of our county, into the ways in which administration and their biases can result in policy and unequal treatment within our schools. Because I personally faced a lot of it when I was here. Okay? I'm sure we all remember what happened in 2023 when a student from my school, one of my classmates, went over to Jacksonville and committed a mass shooting. Well, I'll let you know, that student talked about doing that shooting while he was in Clay County and nobody did anything.
Thank you. Ms. Teresa?
Hi, good evening. I'm Teresa Arellano. I live in Orange Park, zip code 32073. My family came to Clay County in the late 60s, and I grew up in Green Cove Springs and attended all of the Clay County schools, and I've also taught here in Clay County. I have a picture of my kindergarten class on my phone, which you can't see, at Charles E. Bennett from 1972. It's a class of 22 children and our teacher, Savannah Jennings, who happened to be African American. Over half of my classmates were also Black. I was raised not to disparage another person based on their skin color, and I will not stay quiet when I see it happening in my county. My first interaction with Mr. Alvaro was in a Facebook discussion following the election, during which time I expressed my dismay at his lack of educational experience, particularly compared to that of his opponent. And because this position is supposedly nonpartisan, I asked him to explain why there were Moms for Liberty support signs displayed on his campaign signs. He didn't have any answer for me. Regardless of one's political affiliation, it is absolutely unacceptable for a person sitting on any type of educational body to think that racist comments, though they may be protected by the First Amendment, are in any way okay. We have people in this county who have lost their minds over Clay teachers using their right to free speech to comment about Charlie Kirk. The teachers have faced consequences for their actions, as understandably there are guidelines and rules in place with every employer. These same people, however, are quick to try and absolve Mr. Alvaro of any responsibility for his disgusting comments about African Americans, despite the fact that he should be held to at least the same standards as teachers. And the fact that you have been elected rather than just hired makes no difference to the many constituents that he has insulted. I understand that he apologized, but I feel that the apology came not so much because he was sorry for what he said, but because he got caught. I feel that he needs to resign, and going forward, running for a school board position should require at least a minimum of educational experience, which Alvaro's opponent had decades of, not just years. Mr. Alvaro, I'm disgusted. You are shameless, having come to this country in search of freedom, and I've been married 32 years to a Cuban American. So anybody who wants to, accuse me of being, that's not what this is about. You came here in search of freedom, only to insult those who have darker skins than your own. If you are not capable of serving this community professionally with kindness and experience and education without expressions of racism, you have no place in this position and you need to resign right now. Estoy disgustada, eres un sinvergüenza. Thank you.
Erin Frick?
Good evening. My name is Erin Frick and I live in Clay County. My address is on file. I do live in District 2. My address is on file. I'm also a parent of 2 students who attend public schools in Oakleaf. I'm so sad for the reasons I'm here. I was supposed to be here to see my son sing in a concert. In no uncertain terms, Mr. Alvaro's Facebook Live video caused harm to our beloved community, a community rich in diversity, in which I have chosen to raise my dear children. We are in pain, and I am here today to take a stand against racism of all kinds. Our words matter. First, I'll speak to you, Mr. Alvaro. Your words have led me to believe that you are not fit for the office in which you hold. Your Facebook Live video after you called 80% of African Americans nasty. You asked, why would I want to be around them? I hope that today has helped you realize why you want to be around African Americans. How could you say such a thing? when we have so many people of color learning and teaching in your district? We, your community, are hurting because of your words. I acknowledge your apology and statement that you would take time to reflect, asking us to let your actions speak louder than your words. However, I see no evidence of that reflection, as your next action was to hire an attorney who said the following on your behalf, describing your community's concerns, my concerns, as ridiculous criticism. Am I ridiculous? Fake outrage. Am I fake? Fake controversy? Is this fake? Mr. Alvaro, your actions have spoken louder than your words. Your actions show that your words are your truth, your beliefs, your experience. That is, you believe that persons of color are problematic and that my outrage, our outrage, at your words is total nonsense, as your attorney put it. There's no context in which your words in a video that you freely made, posted to the web, could have been taken out that are not harmful. You're in a seat of power. You must step down and to the board. You must censor and do what you can. I know you can't remove him from office, but do what you can. Thank you.
Will Williams.
Will Williams, address on file. My first time meeting you, sir, was when I was working the election. You were the only candidate who could not follow the basic electioneering rules of staying 150 feet away from the poll. Every other candidate could follow it. And I know you've got your little ladies in their baseball jerseys who can't shut the hell up in this meeting.
Hey, professional.
They
That's your
couldn't
only
shut the
warning.
heck up in this meeting. Well, you're not, these people are literally chirping. I can hear them from standing back here. You're not controlling your meeting, so professionalism. So back to you, Mr. Alvarez. The only candidate who couldn't follow the basic law of this county that says you can't electioneer within 150 feet. You tried to square up like you were gonna fight me. And your wife or whoever had to grab your little belly and pull you back because you don't know how to act. You're not professional, right? Like everybody has said a lot more about their experiences in this school district. But I think you really need to reflect on your personality and your character, because the way you described people of color, I think really, you should have been speaking to yourself in the mirror. You are nasty. You are rude. That's why we're here. Resign.
Justine. And commentary, people, please. Let's keep decorum.
Sorry, Justine Galbraith, my address is on file. So if you guys have never seen the People's Court, Judge Milian always says, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. And recording that video was no different than putting those words into writing. We tell our kids to watch what they say, watch what you post on social media. This is no different. Those words were intentional. They were permanent. They were public. You decided to post them. That's not something that can be simply apologized away. But as a Latina, seeing a Latino immigrant repeat racist stereotypes about Black people was infuriating. Knowing the board member also serves in our Florida Guard as a veteran made it even worse. Because any kind of bias, any kind of racism and discrimination has no place in our county, our schools, our school leadership, or our military. Because all of those, in all of those areas, this is service for people of very diverse backgrounds. And like in the military, when we rely on one another, we do so without exception. The children of this county and their families do so when it comes to the leaders here. The statements raise serious concerns about, your ability to serve this community and the children in the schools with fairness and integrity. But the agreement with Nick Fuentes and using him as a justification for the rhetoric, that association is dangerous. And these ideologies have caused real-world harm and have no places anywhere near public education or our schools, our children, or anybody entrusted with its oversight. The right thing to do is to resign. These statements have already spread harm and emboldened others in our community. I have witnessed it on Facebook page after Facebook page. I appreciate, though, the board chair for recognizing the seriousness of this conduct and for calling for your resignation And I understand that the rest of the board, your powers are limited. But Clay County District Schools' Notice of Non-Discrimination exists, and it's to ensure dignity, safety, and impartiality for all students and families. Even if these remarks do not fit neatly into the narrowest definition of discrimination under the board's policy, the impact is still there. And when someone in a position of power speaks this way about an entire group of people, it signals that those judgments have already been made. It tells the students and the families they may not be seen through any other lens but that of a stereotype, rather than themselves as individuals, and that loss of trust is dangerous in itself. So Board Member Alvaro, you may have free speech rights, as we all do, but free speech does not entitle someone to hold public office. And being an elected official does not shield your speech from scrutiny, nor does it exempt you from accountability. And these statements reveal your bias, undermine public trust, and disqualify you from serving on this board. Please resign.
Mr. Reverend Gundy, Reverend Dr. Gundy.
My name is Reverend Dr. R. Leroy Gundy. I give you my address is 2036 Silver Street, which is my church where you can reach me much easier. Racist behavior violates the requirement of being above reproach. And repentance is required, not excuses. So those who are in this room, who I believe, and those on that board, most of you, if not all of you, are Christians. So I want to appeal to your heart. I want you to open up your heart and hear what I say to you. Biblical repentance includes acknowledgement of sin, public apology, turning away from wrongdoing, and accepting the consequences. An apology without accountability is not repentance. When leaders sin publicly, accountability must be public. Those who sin are to be rebuked publicly so that others may take warning. Public racist remarks require public correction and public consequences, including resignation. Resignation can be an act of repentance. Stepping down is not punishment, it can be spiritual responsibility. True repentance may mean removing oneself from power to allow healing. The church's commitment, as long as it takes, we're going to have to treat Clay County like we treated Brunswick. As the president, executive director of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, true, SCLC, if that's what it takes. As a representative here for President Bartholomew Banks of the Progressive Eminent and Baptist State Convention, if that's what it takes. Your declaration aligns with biblical persistence. So I'm closing with this. We are not here out of anger, but obedience to God. Racism is sin. Dehumanization is sin. Silence is sin. And Scripture demands repentance, accountability, and moral leadership. Until there's acknowledgement, apology, and resignation, we will stand today and as long as it takes, because justice is not optional with the people of God. Now, Mr. Alvaro, I did not go after you, but I'm asking you to look into your heart. And if you know you did wrong, and you know you did, because I believe you're a man of God. And if you're a man of God and you search your heart, you're going to do what's right for this board, what's right for this community, and what's right for yourself. Just let it go.
Ms. Flowers, if you'll just hold on 1 second, I'm going to get a few more lined up. Jacob. There's Jacob up there that Gutierrez. Is that right? Okay. Jeffrey Docks. Dove. Sorry. It looks like an X. I promise. Sorry. Neil Burgale. Okay. There's a G in here. Rachel Clark. Desiree Allen. Reverend Madison Wilt. Victoria Tompkins. Jody McFarland. Alyssa Sevi. Shelley Hughes, and Judith Chappelle. All right, Dr. Flowers, go right ahead. Remember to state your name and your address.
Yes, good evening. I am Dr. Sharon Flowers. My address is 3877 Eagle Rock Road, and that's Middleburg, Florida. I am an educator, a parent, resident of Clay County, District 2, and a concerned citizen. I'm here to address the comments that Mr. Alvaro shared via social media. Racial generalizations, especially when framed as personal experiences, can harm a school community. Psychology tells us that humans naturally overgeneralize from emotionally charged encounters. This is known as availability bias, where negative experiences feel more representative than they actually are. When left unexamined, those biases become stereotypes. Sociology reminds us that behavior does not occur in a vacuum. Students and families are shaped by stress, unequal access to resources, and how they are treated within institutions. When an entire racial group is labeled as problematic or unsafe, it erodes trust and creates exclusion rather than understanding. As a member of the school board, Mr. Alvaro, statements of his experiences have real consequences. It affects the expectations, the discipline, decisions, peer relationships, and trust. Research consistently shows that when students feel stereotyped, their academic performance and mental health suffer. From a moral and faith-informed perspective shared by many in this community, people are not statistics. Every child, every person has inherent dignity and worth. Reducing any group to percentages or assumption moves us away from the values of fairness, compassion, justice that the schools and school board members are meant to model. Our responsibility is not to deny any individual experiences, but to refuse to turn them into narratives that can harm children and families. Schools must remain a place where students are seen as individuals, supported with understanding, and given the opportunity to thrive regardless of their race, gender, or religion. These comments have caused a community of people not to feel valued, and we have lost trust in Mr. Alvaro's ability to effectively represent all of his constituents. He should resign. You should resign. And if you do not, you should be removed from this office by the authorities of those who have to do so. Mr. Alvaro, I tried my best to support you. I've even emailed you. But in this situation, I think it's best that you step down because you cannot represent our community. Thank you.
Jacob.
Good evening. My name is Jacob Gutierrez, and my address is on file. I'm here with Reverend Dove, and I'm a Hispanic male and a student in Fleming Island High School. And what a member of the board has said was horrible, and I believe that words matter. And they all have consequences. If there's not consequences, then there's not a structure. Being a minority does not excuse their words or actions. I am Hispanic too, and there are no racist comments I'm allowed to say without repercussions. If he realizes he is wrong, I hope he steps down. And if not, I hope the governor removes him. Thank you for your time. God bless you.
Thank you, Jacob, for your courage. Mr. Dove?
Yeah, Reverend Dove, address is on file. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, the dehumanization of an entire race, the rape of our women, and to be hung from trees. I come to declare that the black race is still here. And we're not going anywhere. I'm disappointed, brother. You came to my church and you sat before the altar. We had a community meeting. He was there, you were there, my children were there. and you vowed to have their best interest. But I got a call, and that call was from one of my young people that sent me the video. Man, you make me want to cry. Man, you hurt me. You cut me deep, bro. We hugged and shook hands and we prayed together. What's at stake? What's at stake are our children. And I've been darned if I'm going to let you hurt one of them with your racist rhetoric. But this is the good part now. Follow the money. Look who supported him. Some of them sitting up there. They pay big money, Moms for Liberty. They pay big money to put you in office. Follow the money. This is what we're going to do. We're not stopping. This is only the beginning. I'm going to ask parents to start removing their children from Clay County schools and send them to charter schools. The teachers are leaving, the students might as well leave. You hurt me, bro. And I vow with everything I love, I'm going to fight this till I die. Those words hurt. Words matter. You like to quote scripture. You hide behind them. What you do unto my least, you also have done unto me.
Neil?
Neil Bergal, 30-plus year resident of Orange Park, Clay County. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I would like to remind the school board that our county holds the school board to the highest standards of integrity, ethical behavior, unbiased leadership in the care of our children in our school system. I'm here today to address a Clay School Board's inflammatory social media comment that has come to light. I'll remind the board, we set you guys to the same standards that we do our school teachers. Don't forget that. We have seen many teachers dismissed, forced to resign for lesser social media comments that were either controversial or not politically acceptable by those in charge. I find Mr. Robert Alvaro's public comments unbecoming of a school board member. I've lost confidence in his ability to do his elected job and do not trust him to do his duties with an unbiased attitude, nor his judgment of decisions involving our children. I believe the residents and the school parents probably feel the same way I do, at least I hope they would. This has nothing to do with what party you belong to. It has to do with you and you alone. I call for the immediate resignation of Robert Alvaro, and if he fails to do so, that he should be forcibly removed from office by the governor or by recall by the citizens. I call for a full state investigation. I further review all the board members' communications, which I remind you are open records to the Sunshine Law of the state of Florida. Thank you for your time.
Rachel?
My name is Rachel Clark. My address is on file. First, I'm going to remind the board that Florida State, including the laws, the Florida statutes, the ones applicable to this board. Florida Statute 617.0842 explicitly states that a board can remove an officer with or without cause. School board duties under Statute 1001.42 empowers them to manage district personnel through specific procedures, as long as they follow Sunshine State laws and the board's bylaws. Mr. Alvaro cannot perform his duties. He has violated the values and ethic clauses of the Department of Florida State Education. He influences the firings, hirings, contracts, and student welfare. If his views on certain populations within the county are as such, how can you trust him to make decisions unbiasedly? That includes past decisions and future decisions. This board and all of its members are liable for suit for ethics violations by any member. He can be lost for his position, for harms to board function. Board has lost trust and respect and its decisions in the future as long as he remains on that board. He damages his reputation, violates legal ethical standards to have him remain on this board. Code of Ethics of the education professions in Florida says that it values every person and protects the civil rights to ensure due process for all individuals, all of them. He can't do that if he feels that way about certain populations within the county. That means he cannot perform that duty. You cannot maintain the respect of colleagues, students, employees, and the people he represents. Also, a violation of the duty. The oath that you swear. Same oath I had to swear to when I was appointed to a position within the county. Whether you are voted in or appointed to a position, we all have to maintain the same ethical standards. You cannot do that. You must resign or you must be removed. And if this board fails to recommend his removal or remove him, that is a quiet agreement to the statements that he said. Thank you.
Ms. Allen?
Desiree White Allen, and my address is on file. As I was walking through my living room, I heard somebody say with intention, Mr. Alvaro, intention of trying to destroy the character of the African American people, which if you look at your history and your culture, you'll see that we came from the same makeup. Now, not just in Clay County, but I've done a little research, but also Duval County and the world you've affected. The ladies that graduated from college with me in Warren, Ohio, a little town, call me and say, what y'all got going on down there? What is he doing? What are you allowing him to do? Well, we're here to take a stand. You know you're wrong. You're looking so blank and uncare, like you don't care, like you have no concern. And I know deep inside you have to have, it's got to be burning you up, because these people in here don't generally come here. They don't generally see this many people in here. Now, you've affected the whole world. You spoke your opinion of the black race. Your opinion was heard from south to north, east to west. Every race found it to be racist and demeaning to the African American people. And with a lack of responsible behavioral common sense, you got on social media and talked about how you hate 80% of the black people are doing this or that. I have 2 grandchildren. I'm here for my grandchildren. When I leave this earth, I intend to make an impact on them. Remember now, one day you're going to be a grandpa too, maybe. Now, this shows that you cannot be trusted around the children or anybody else. You can't make wise decisions, wise choices, none that will govern a board, not a board with the capacities that these people have. We hold you all responsible. My mother taught in this county for 48 years. And I've never heard her even say anything. Her best friends were on this board. Now, whatever needs to be changed from here to Tallahassee to Washington to make sure that this never happens again, then you all just need to ask. We need you people to stand up so that we can get these rules and laws changed. I thank you for your time.
Reverend Madison Wilt.
Reverend Madison Hilt, my address is on file. I was born at Orange Park Medical Center in 1997. I have lived in Clay County my entire life. I am a graduate from Orange Park High, and I was the first person that I'm a graduate from Middleburg High. Y'all got me flustered a little bit. I was the first person Middleburg High sent to the International Science and Engineering Fair on behalf of Clay County. I say that to say that I know the Clay County education system, and I know what the morals of the board have been, and over the past few years, they have declined rapidly. Maybe that's why you're losing so many teachers. Maybe that's why you're losing the public's faith. Mr. Alvaro, I served with you as a firefighter when I worked for Clay County. This is conduct unbecoming of a public official. As a Christian, as a pastor now, I'm going to cite Matthew 22. The first and greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. I don't see very much loving our neighbor here tonight. When you claim that 80% of any people group are terrible, that shows the true content of your heart and the content of your character, and a half-hearted apology will not fix this. I applaud those on the board that have called for Mr. Alvaro's resignation. And I just want to say this. I have a feeling, Mr. Alvaro, that I know what's in your heart. Because when you cite Nick Fuentes, a man who has said, and I quote, Hitler did nothing wrong. When you are endorsed by Moms for Liberty, who quoted Hitler in their newsletter prior to your election, and yes, I hear the laughs. Maybe the radical position is the one that you take. I'm going to hear people in the news claiming that I am part of the radical left. Ooh, big scary. But since when is standing up for everybody equally radical? You know what's radical? What's radical is thinking that any people group are a group of lawless thugs, and that is a quote from your new attorney, Mr. Sabatini. All of your actions have spoken louder than your words. And remember, like Reverend Dove said, what you do unto the least of these, you also do unto me. If you are a follower of Christ, please take that to heart. Please show your love instead of just claiming it for Christian nationalist clout. Thank you and have a good night.
Victoria Tompkins. Commentary, people.
Victoria Tompkins, address on file. Words matter. Maya Angelou said, words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning. Well, the following words have a deeper meaning. I understand where Nick Fuentes says that everybody has a little bit of racism in them. I agree. For those who don't know, Nick Fuentes is a white nationalist who promotes white supremacy and is anti-Semitic who denies the Holocaust. Understanding and agreeing with someone like this is unacceptable, especially from someone who is a community leader who represents children. Words matter. I wonder what this board and this community would think if I were to quote a white supremacist or went viral for saying in my experience with 80% of white males was negative. There are many who are trying to use the First Amendment to hide behind. I want to remind everyone the Bill of Rights was written to protect our speech against the government. It is not a right that was meant for everyone to say whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. Yes, the definition of free speech has expanded, but this remains true. Words matter, and we are not free from the consequences of our words. I am not part of a woke agenda. I'm from a small city in Alabama, a city not far from the cities that were the heart of the civil rights movement. I am not woke. I am also not racist. I am educated on the history of this country. I teach history. I teach history to your student, your child. I teach my students that the importance of words. They know we don't use derogatory words to describe any race, culture, boys, girls, anyone. They know words matter.
If there's no place for a teacher who glorifies the death of another in our school district, then there is no place for a community leader who says he agrees with the racist and has 80% negative experiences with an entire community of people. To be clear, I don't think there's a place for either of these types of pet people. Words matter. I'm not going to insult you or say anything that is not a fact. What I am going to do is I am going to promise you that I will continue to teach your child to the best of my ability, my highly effective ability, and I will keep him safe despite my losing all respect for you after your comments. Thank you.
Jody McFarland. Okay. Alyssa Seavey. Okay.
Alyssa Seavey, my address is on record. Mr. Alvaro, I bought my house in District 2, and I want to talk about why I purchased my house in District 2. I grew up in the South, not in Florida, but I grew up in the South. I am very aware of the racism and of the neighborhoods that are historically white. And when I'm raising my children and I'm raising them to be anti-racist, I came and I looked for a house that was not in a historically traditional white neighborhood, one that was a newer build, because that's when diversity within neighborhoods began. So I bought in District 2 of Oakleaf, because when I went and I was looking at the houses, all the neighbors were all sorts of different skin colors, white, Latino, black, all of it was present. And in order to raise anti-racist children, I wanted to make sure that we were in a neighborhood that reflected the diversity of our country and who we are as a people. Your words are so disheartening as a parent trying to raise children to love and accept children like your children who are Latino, children who love those who are black, who have been cared for and taught by black women that have been incredible. And I am so grateful as a parent that they have been a part of my children's lives. I take heart, however, that despite what your attorney said about you having so much support in Clay County, yes, you won it by a landslide, but tonight, your people who voted for you, they're not here except for one table. One table out of the sea of 100 plus. I call for your resignation.
Please do not let me have you removed. Ms. Shelley Hughes.
Shelley Hughes, my address is on file, on record. I do join with my fellow citizens in denouncing Robert Alvaro, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the December school board meeting where I witnessed bullies claiming to be victims, with the self-assured arrogance and pride punctuated by a slap of the gavel, almost like a mic drop. It was not a good look for any of you. You claim to value teachers, but we all put our money in what we value. It's biblical, it's moral, it's what we teach our kids, it's how we budget our homes. Your actions do not value teachers. See, the problem is you claim to be victims in the mess that you created by your inaction. You don't get to be victims when you are the ones with all the power. You are the only ones who have the power to make something different happen. But the state only gave us $1.2 million, is your litany of defense and excuses. As a counterpoint, I'd like to direct your attention to the surrounding counties in the same state that you live in, who offered their teachers thousands, while you offered some of our teachers nothing. In case you're not aware, the state of Florida does not value traditional public schools or teachers. Follow the money. Republican Governor Rick Scott stepped away annual salary increases for teachers in 2011, so school boards like you no longer had to budget in salary increases, but could just give the teachers the leftovers or the scraps. In a recent news conference, Governor DeSantis was giddy
and gloated over a Florida budget surplus, wondering what he was going to do with all that extra money. Wake up. Stop waiting for a handout from the state to solve your teacher salary problems. It's not happening. I don't have a lot of hope for change here because people who blame others or don't take responsibility for their action or inaction don't learn and they don't change. These past few months have not been proud moments for any of you. And the fact that you felt like you delivered the proverbial mic drop at the December meeting makes me sad and heartsick for all of us, for all of our children, for all of our teachers. Use your power for something good, I beg of you. Something that you can really be proud of.
Ms. Chappelle. And if you'll hold on, I'm going to call another stack. Mr. Bruce Friedman, Jacqueline Setnar, Samuel Lee, Woodman, Mary Griffin, Douglas Smith Jr., Edward Williams, David Hamilton, Edward Smith, Ekanova, all right, please remember to state your name and your address, Ms. Chappelle.
My name is Judith Chappelle, and my address is on file. Let me begin by stating clearly for the record that I am an active member of several groups and organizations in Clay County, some of which many of you are currently standing in solidarity with, and one of which one of the board members currently considers irrelevant. However, as I address you tonight, and on any time that I stand behind this microphone, I speak only for myself, Judith Chappelle, and for my granddaughter, Michaela Clark, who is a student here at Fleming Island High School. And if you've not noticed by now, I am Black. I identify as Black, not African American, because I do not believe in hyphenated American identities. As you know, I attend every school board meeting. And in those school board meetings, we've discussed many critically important issues that directly impact the students of Clay County. Safety, academic performances, inappropriate materials in school libraries, bathroom policies, cell phone usage, bullying, discipline, transportation, all of those topics. And not one time has anyone called a press conference. Not one time has any faith leaders come. Only the faithful few has shown up to those school board meetings. There has been crickets from people in this audience. Only the faithful few has shown up. Now, I'm no fool. I understand why people want to distance themselves from any comment that has any hint of racism. I understand why people want to distance themselves from the comments made by Mr. Alvaro. Yet, some self-proclaimed Black leaders who sit here and want to turn this into the next George Floyd moment, while members of the white community want to do this self-proclaimed virtual signaling, neither approach will bring any real value to the children of Clay County. If you want to do anything that's going to help the Black community, roll up your sleeves beyond this symbolism, this marching and protest.
Thank you, Ms. Chappelle.
Thank you.
Bruce Friedman. Commentary, please hold your applause.
Hi, Bruce Friedman, address on file. I'm glad you're all still here. Usually the room empties out by the time I get a chance to speak. Robert Alvaro spoke from the heart. A lot of people don't like the things he said. There's some that I agree with, there's some that I don't. That's often the case with all of humanity, not just him. But while you're all here deciding Mr. Alvaro's fate or hoping to influence it, know that the issue isn't Mr. Alvaro. The issue is the schools of this community, the public schools in particular, which are in decline and shrinking and facing reduced budgets as a result. All of the activity tonight, and whether or not Robert stays or goes, is leading you all down the very same path that got us to tonight. Shrinking budgets, fired teachers, lack of raises. We're unable to fix any problem, so I'm stuck on one. I'm not here to make a global solution. I'm not looking to promote racial harmony personally. You guys work that out on your own. The books in our library are still a horror. 3.5 years of my efforts, 1,000+ books removed, find porn every single day. The librarians were put on notice. The school board members knew there was a problem. Why am I still finding it? How long does it take to clean up such a mess? The book I'm bringing you tonight, Now I Rise, by Kirsten White. And I have no idea if she's white or not, and I don't care. The book's horrible. There's references to things that I wouldn't give to a child. It'll go through process. Maybe you'll keep it, maybe you won't. There are thousands more books on my radar. You shouldn't be buying anything. I can't believe this, but you have too many books. I never heard of such a thing, but if you've read as many of the horrible books this school has been giving our children, you'd agree with me. This school's, we all have too many books. Clean up the mess, have less books, have better books, take better care of the innocence of our children, and maybe, again, you can rescue this system from itself. Have a great night.
Jacqueline Sentner.
Sorry about that. I'm not allowed to stand for a long period of time. I had surgery recently. My name is Jacqueline Sutner. My address is on file. I'm here as an individual voter here in Clay County. We've seen everything already that everybody's spoken to, and I agree with them. I do agree that racism should not be here. You are the school board, and you should not tolerate this. He should not represent us. He should not represent our county values. This has been all over social media. It's all over the news. And this is what needs to happen. He needs to resign. Thank you.
Samuel Lee.
My name is Samuel Lee, and my address is on file. I agree with a lot that people have spoken so far, but I'm here as the pastor of St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church in Middleburg, Florida, and we support the Hilltop community in their concern for their children and their grandchildren. As we teach, as a pastor, I'm always teaching about love and unity. And then it's disheartening when the child return home from school and they can see division and people, separation, and we trying to teach unity. It's hard as a pastor, it's trying to unify a community together. Because when we pastor, we don't pastor just a church, we pastor that community that we're in. And it's called togetherness. Coming together when people are more effective and we can do more and accomplish more when we all work together. There ain't no little I's and big U's, or big I's and little U's. But we all was created equal, whether you believe it or not. We are all people. God, as a Christian, we are, we are the same. God is our Father. And if He is our Father, that makes you a Christian, then you means you my brother. And as my brother, I come to you in love and say, you can't have that kind of heart in order to be in a position of authority and think that it's okay. It don't work that way. See, you have an influence on people. And that influence that you carrying through this community by saying what you're saying, it's going to create a lot of hatred. It's going to follow you, as they said, trickle all the way down through the school board, through the church, and to the community. Then when you get hate, you're going to have violence. Clay County, they're going to be calling in ICE because they can't handle it by following your example. Be a positive example. Don't let it be out of hatred, but learn how to love everybody. You need to pray to God. Ask God, say, God, give me a heart to love. Clean hatred from me. Clean division from me. Look at people as people. Look at people as your creation. We didn't create each other. God did. And He created us all for a purpose. Let's love one another and do the right thing.
Woodman. Nope. Okay. Mary Griffin.
Hi, my name is Mary Jo Griffin, and my address is on record. And I wanted to speak because something really spoke to me when I saw the video and then the response and a lot of other people's responses. The immediate reaction I had was, well, the common denominator in all of Mr. Alvaro's interactions was him. It was his reaction and what he brought to these experiences that formed how he felt. He didn't go into them as a clean slate. He brought his prejudices, he brought his attitude to these experiences. And he doesn't seem to be able to reflect on his accountability, his responsibility for his responses in these reactions. Because my immediate thought was, well, I'm a white person who is normally just started recently to interact with Black people on a much larger basis. And my interactions have been wonderful. The people have been welcoming and helpful and loving. And I don't understand how you can have these interactions and have such a negative response and think that you're still capable of doing your job when you have such an effect on children's lives, on this community. My grandchild goes to the Clay County schools. I do not want him exposed to this kind of racism. I want him to accept the whole world. I really do think that unless you can change, unless you can dig deep and say, I'm responsible for some of this. Maybe I was in situations that were not wonderful. But we each have to take responsibility for who we are and our reactions to life. And if you can't do that, then you need to resign. Thank you.
Douglas Smith Jr. Anywhere? Douglas Smith Jr.? He left? Okay. Edward Williams? Oh, okay. David Hamilton? Oh, okay. Wow. Edward Smith? That's me. All right. All right. I didn't know if they were sitting. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Edward Smith, and my address is on file. And I wanted to come tonight to first say this. I moved into the Oak Leaf community in 2021, 2020, somewhere around there. And the main reason why I moved in that community, like others have spoken tonight was because of the integrated and the integration and the opportunity to meet and participate and learn a lot about other people. I am a kid of a military person, so I understand a lot about being involved in different communities and what that brings about, and I also raised 2 children and tried to bring them up so that they could understand and be balanced in the way that they lived. So to me, the main reason why I came is just looking at our community, as many have said, looking at the makeup of the community and the kids attending the schools there. Uh, to me, the only way that you could continue to grow as a community and continue to impact one another in a positive way is we have to have a balanced approach in the way that we present ourselves and the way we interact with ourselves and the way that, as other people have said, that we really, truly love each other or attempt to love each other. We live in this one ball, this one globe. We live in this one community, and we're all God's children. And the only way that we can truly help each other is by trying to put ourselves in each other's footsteps. And so, Mr. Alvaro, to you, I will say this. Truly, if you can't put yourself in the footsteps of people like myself and others who have spoken, then you truly do not deserve to be in the position that you're in. And I would ask that you resign from your position. Thank you.
Ekanova. But I'm going to have you wait a second. I'm going to call the last few cards up. Randy Hilton, Sheila Torres, Helena Kamir, Molly Caswell, Fritz Joseph, and there is one person who turned in a comment card that has no name. So if you have been missed, I'm sorry. You did not put your name on this card. Ekanova, go ahead. Remember to state your name and address.
Ekanova, address on file. She, her, and a graduate of the Clay County school system. As the board knows, I have been here time and time again speaking up for all of our communities. And for those of us who have been paying attention, we all knew that something like this was possible to happen, but never did we ever expect that someone would actually say it and attack such a massive and critical part of our community and post it online. These comments are entirely reprehensible, and anyone who believes these ideas should not be in any position of power over teachers, students, and the very institution of educating and shaping our future generations. While it must be recognized that the chair of the school board and the commissioner of education and other institutions have called for Alvaro's resignation or to explain himself, we must recognize that the only reason many of these did is because he said the quiet part out loud and got too spicy and dangerous for them. This is a systemic issue and needs to be addressed at all levels. It has been said that this is a free speech issue, and on this, among many other things, including continuing to destroy our schools, Moms for Liberty must be publicly called out. Where were they when teachers and staff were attacked and removed after making comments online? A critical difference here being that those comments addressed a very particular incident and did not generalize a whole community that has been historically abused and murdered and dehumanized. Where were they and their calls for free speech being violated then? To you, Alvaro, why do the rules apply to them but not to you? How can we trust you to do anything proper? I mentioned this is a systemic issue, and this is how. Comments like these are not just comments of racism, but of broader discrimination as a whole. For example, back during the campaign, there should have been immediate backlash when Alvaro made comments in a forum that affirmed his desire to make trans and queer kids second-class citizens. An attack on one is an attack on all. We live in a state that continuously attacks our education, whitewashes and erases all our histories, devalues accessibility, celebrates brutality and dehumanization, can't support our teachers, our students, our staff. And now that rhetoric that refutes all those attacks have come home in a very explicit way. Alvaro must resign to protect our students and teachers now, and that is only the start. The leadership here and across the state must listen to the communities that have been harmed, not just from racism, but from all discrimination. We will hold all of you accountable and rally for as long as it takes here in our communities, in Tallahassee, and everywhere across the state.
Hilton, Randy Hilton.
Hello, board members. My name's Randy Hilton, and my comments are probably a little bit on the lighter side to what you've experienced tonight. Being a board member is a difficult place to be. Thank you for your service. I've learned with my 32-year public service that you only volunteer once, and then it's a job, and sometimes it can be a very serious job. Mr. Alvera, you're brave to be here tonight. There's a lot of negative things being said about what your comments were. I don't know your comments. I didn't come here to talk about your comments. I don't know your comments. I don't know you personally. There is a process in place for boards to censor board members, and I do not believe this board has the authority to remove Mr. Alvera. I think that's a function of the state, and I believe there's a process in place where that's being reviewed. So my personal feeling on it is I trust the system to come to the right conclusion, and I believe that you would do that as well. Can't stand here without addressing the issue because that's what this meeting seems to be about. It's not why I'm here, but my personal dealings and interactions with people is I've always tried to judge people by the content of their character and not by broad swaths. I don't like being broad swathed and grouped. I don't like that for me personally. So my experience have been, I grew up in Northeast Florida, and I was in the system in elementary school when they desegregated in Duval County, which required a court order. And I was sent to an all African American school, as opposed to a lot of my friends who had the opportunities to go in other places. I didn't. But my personal experience has been that African Americans, black people, whatever you're calling people, is that they're just as good as anybody I've met on the earth, and I don't really distinguish any differences in people. I find them to be loyal. They're very brotherly, and they're concerned in general about me as a person and things I've had to do in my life, and I've gotten a lot of support from African Americans as well as African American teachers that have inspired me. So whatever those comments were, I didn't read them, but that's my experience. My concern here, though, is not, I didn't come for that.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Next time. Thank you.
Ms. Torres.
Can you stop my minute again? It's 2:54. I want my whole 3 minutes.
Keep going.
No, I want my whole 3 minutes.
You can speak now or you can be done.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my little 50 seconds after. Long story short, how you guys doing? I appreciate everybody that's here. There's a lot of people that came and speak and voice your opinion. Kudos to you guys. Me as a Latina who have lived in New York, lived in Jersey, lived in Georgia, right? Have been in Puerto Rico, been in Ecuador, Mexico, Dominican Republic. I've been in a lot of places, and I've seen a lot of things. I speak to a lot of people from different races, different colors. Yellow, purple, green, orange, yellow, whatever y'all want to claim yourself. Granted, what Mr. Alvera said, he spoke based off his experience. That's his opinion. It's not a popular one. Yes, it's not. Could have been worded different. Yes, it could have. But out of everybody that you guys see sitting in front of you, that's the only one that shows concern for all the kids within the district. When I have problems with transportation, When my kid go to Orange Park, guess who came out afterward to talk to me and tell me and follow up about what happened with that transportation? Mr. Alredo. You know that raise that they got? That money, it went toward the scholarship. Did any of those other people put money towards that scholarship for all the kids? Whoever qualified for said scholarship, if they applied? No, not a single one. When I came here to tell Brodsky about Miss Tina Auguste in Orange Park and her mistreatment of my child, what did Brodsky do? Nothing but sweep everything under the rug and chastise my son and went after him in 8th grade to the point being that I had to pull him out the district. So let's be real about what's going on with this. I'm talking in general, just like everybody mentioned about the school and about everything else. It's a sin to stay quiet when injustice is served. Yes, granted. But at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. And you guys are over here going after Mr. Reda for expressing his opinion based on his experience. It's not right. When I was in Georgia, I was criticized because guess what? I was a Mexicana. No, baby, I'm a pure Ecuadorian, naturalized citizen, and I'm able to vote, okay? I was told that I don't know how to speak English, but my English is perfect. Maybe that's something that Mr. Reda needs to work at, granted. As a Latina woman, there are adults that do struggle, no matter how many years in this country, to lay or to convene their thoughts properly. And some people might mix it
Thank
up
you.
with anything
Helena
other.
Camille.
Thank you for stealing my 50
Helena.
seconds, Ms. Skipper.
Helena.
Hi, my name is Helena Cormier. My address is on file. I do have to be very cautious as I stand here and speak, just because of my own personal litigation against the school district. I hope that people are able to see this situation and that they're able to understand that it is important for people to stand and people to be able to speak and to deal with the problems or things that are at hand. One of the things that I've learned in my life is that I live in a CDD community, and it is a government entity. There's 5 board members that get to vote. All of us that sit in the audience and complain cannot do anything. It's the 5 seats that have the voting power. And so I learned many years ago, whoever in our county has voting power, we need to understand how important it is to get to know them, to know who they are, what they stand for, and how they're going to serve in our community. I learned that the hard way through my own CDD. I do serve on my CDD now, and I do hold that position. And when I ran in the county for a statewide position, I realized less than 20% of our county showed up to vote at the primaries. I hope and pray that during this time, this will motivate people to register to vote, to get out and vote for the candidates that they support, that they will teach their children the power of the vote. Because no matter what any of them say out here in the audience about their opinions, it comes down to the ones that have the vote, whether it's in the county, whether it's the county commissioners, whether it's the governor. My Christian conservative values will always line up with the Republican Party. I am unapologetic for that because it's my Christian conservative values. Whatever your values are, just teach your children that the ones that have the voting power have that, and that vote matters. I pray that we're able to use this situation for the betterment of our county. I pray that people are able to put on the spiritual armor of God and understand that our fight is not against flesh and blood, but evil and principalities. We have so much that is going on right before our eyes, but we cannot get distracted fighting against each other. So I hope that we use our time wisely. I hope we make our decisions the best we can, and I pray that people are able to see from the heart of who we are as people. And our vote does matter. So register to vote if you're not. Get out and serve. Elections are coming.
Ms. Molly.
Good evening. Oh, sorry, can you hear me? Good evening. I'm ill prepared. I am military. Oh, I'm sorry. Molly Caswell, 2705 Seasons Road, Green Cove Springs. I am a military wife. I am a mom of two beautiful girls. One in Middleburg High School. She's a senior. The other one is a fourth grader. I saw your comments. Actually, I watched the Facebook with my two girls sitting right next to me. I think it is extremely inappropriate that I had to explain to my 9-year-old what your comments meant when I am teaching my girls that you don't hate anybody based off of race, based off of religion, based off of the way you vote. My 9-year-old asked, what does that mean? Why does he not like black people? I could give no answer to her. I don't know what you were thinking. What I tell my daughters, they are both on social media, is it is okay for you to have an opinion. But when you take that step and you put your opinion on social media, it is extremely, extremely inappropriate for what you did. I work with all sorts of races. I work at NAS Jackson. I love them all. And my girls love everyone. And I teach them to have respect and love for everyone. I think it is also inappropriate the amount of attention a grown man is getting for comments when I should be up here as a parent talking to this school board and, Mr. Borowski about the mental health situation going on in the school district, or how 2 months ago, how I had to deal with a racist comment of my daughter's best friend who is a fourth grader. That happened at Lake Asbury Elementary School. How I had to rush up to that school because someone said something to an African American boy and my daughter was there. We should be dealing with those issues, not a grown man having an inappropriate moment. Thank you.
Fritz.
What's up, y'all? My name is Fritz. I live down the street.
Can you address, please, sir?
It's on file.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to say that, number one, if this man worked for the Jaguars, he would have gotten fined and probably released. And they play a game for a living. This man is in charge of the future of our children. So I don't even know what we're talking about here. I've seen people that work for Hot Topic get fired for less. So that's number one. Number two, I've been black my whole life, clearly. So I've seen and experienced plenty of racism, a lot of racism. And I would never say 80% of the white people that I encounter are racist, because not only would it not be true, it would be wrong. It's not true. It's not right. I wouldn't say that. So the fact that we're here discussing this is crazy. We should be talking about the fact that you guys took away the buses for my daughter's 23 plus kids on a bus stop, by the way. Took away the buses, and I don't know if you're aware, but you guys told us that they could walk, and the sidewalk is on a main highway, and that sidewalk is currently closed. Doesn't work. So you take the bus away, and then you tell us that they can walk, but the sidewalk is closed. I don't know if you're aware of that. And the reason probably you're not aware is because we're too busy dealing with this stuff. So, yeah, just get it together and resign. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to move on to superintendent. Update, comment.
Okay, I don't know quite how to transition. As I was listening tonight, I went ahead and jotted a couple notes down, and there's no doubt we've seen significant passion from people in the room. I can't help but first think how thankful I am to live in a country that we can all do this, right? So that's the first thing I kind of struck me. Let me just reassure everyone here in the room tonight that the districts continue to have its focus on the students of Clay County. That's truly what we're focused on. As we stated earlier, the comments that brought many of you here for tonight don't reflect the mission or values of Clay County Schools. While I did hear some commenters talking about the reality of it, the board has no legal authority to punish Mr. Alvaro for his comments. The only person that can remove Mr. Alvaro is the governor or Mr. Alvaro himself, really is the reality of it. I did hear a couple of commenters kind of saying something different. And, you know, and let me just leave you at this before I go on about the business of the county and just say, you know, our focus, I actually wrote this. Our focus tomorrow morning is going to be the same as every other morning. It's going to be on the students, because our students and our teachers and staff deserve that, right? So just wanted to reassure you of that. Now on to the business. There's actually business that happens in Clay County Schools. Super Students of the Month, let's transition to that. First of all, one of the greatest things that I get to do about 4% fun stuff and 96% not fun stuff. But some of the fun stuff is going out and seeing students out. Seeing 3 students here. Here's Charlotte from Lake Asbury, Mason from Lake Asbury Junior, and Nathan. All great kids, all doing the right things. How about this fact? 85% of students in Clay County schools never receive a discipline referral. Right. Now, I can tell you I was a principal 3 times, and that 15% keep you busy. Right, but that's a whole nother story. I think sometimes our perspective is always not on the positive things that are happening, but on the things that stand out. Our Teacher of the Year and Support Employee of the Year, you can see all of those folks. What a great job they do. They do a fantastic job. All of our Teachers of the Year and our Support Employees of the Year. And our Rookie Teacher of the Year was Kylie Edenfield from Middleburg Elementary. The Apple Awards are the 22nd. Marching band. Okay, I have 0 musical talent, but my wife was a band student. In fact, she tells stories about being 3rd chair, and she tells the names of the other 2 people that had beaten her out, and she has this look in her eye that I've never seen before from such a sweet woman when she talks about the other 2 that beat her out. You know, this is what kids are focused on, by the way. Kids are focused on these things. So congratulations, Orange Park High, Fleming Island, and Oakley for their success. I always say this, we already start planning for the next school year. That's something that you see routinely happening around this time of year, and a whole mess of parent nights and other things happening within the district. School choice, there's so many programs within the district. You can see in this chart, I know you can't read it, like 34 different CTE programs embedded within our schools. Fine arts and performing arts, fantastic job by those folks. We got an all-county chorus band and theater coming up right around the corner, as well as our accelerated option programs that you see listed up there. The rising 7th and 8th graders, you can see the programs and the dates up there. Controlled open enrollment, those are schools that have current enrollment openings. And then upcoming events, you can see all those events. I know that everybody came for a different purpose, but I just wanted to reassure everybody that the focus of the district, the focus of our teachers, the focus of the sport folks is our students. So with that, thank you.
All right, attorney comments? All right, we're going to start with board comments. Ms. Clark, would you like to lead us?
I think the only thing I'd like to say tonight, because I think tonight was a night to listen, but we have a former photographer from Fleming Island High that does a lot of good work in this community because he's from this community, Mr. Joseph Lorenzen. And for the past 3 years, he's gone to Orange Park High School for the adult graduation. And for free, he's taken pictures for each of those students to give them something special that they wouldn't have had before. And it's just great to see somebody willing to come forward, whether they're from this community or not, and volunteer like that. And right now, he's very, very sick, and I hope that we will all lift him up in prayer because we really need him. So, but that's it for me.
Mr. Alvera?
I want to thank everybody for taking the time and come to express your concerns. I have already addressed the false accusations against me in a press release, on a social media post. I have nothing to add at this time. A school board meeting is not an appropriate forum to discuss political matters or personal matters. We should be focused solely on the operation of our school system. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to me outside the school board. I am available to anybody. Thank you and have a great night.
Ms. Gilhausen?
I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight and sharing so respectfully your concerns with the board. You can't hear me? My mic's on. Is that any better? Okay. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and sharing your concerns so respectfully and professionally with the board. I appreciate the tenor of this meeting being what it was, because this was a very emotionally challenged topic for a lot of people here. So I just appreciate the decorum. And I really appreciate everyone speaking out on behalf of respect and love and honor and dignity for our fellow man. And I hope that that trend will continue into 2026.
Thank you. And I'll just end with this. I want to thank all of you for being respectful and professional, being able to speak your mind in that way, and being able to express your First Amendment rights. So thank you for being here. Thank you for expressing them. The only comment that I have is just to reiterate what Mr. Broski said. This board has no legal authority. This will now be in the hands of the governor and the commissioner of education and Mr. Albero. As your board chair, I will focus on the children here in Clay County. And as I look around the room, I personally am saddened because this is school business and our job is student-based. And it's sad that students couldn't be here and we couldn't honor our students. And there are so many good things that are going on in our district. There are so many things that we do right every day. We are an exceptional district. And focusing on our kids is a priority. So as your board chair, our meetings, our business will be focused on our children, and that's who matters. And as for everything else, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.